Hi, this is Fred Barstein, Editor-in-Chief of 401k TV and CEO of TPSU and TRAL. It's my weekly blog, and today I want to talk about a brief primer for plan sponsors, 401k and 403b plan sponsors, about how to fulfill their fiduciary responsibility. First thing, let's talk about what to avoid. If someone comes to you and says your plan is free or my services are free, you should definitely avoid them. If they also say that we can take all of that liability, fiduciary liability, away from you, you should avoid that as well. There are ways to mitigate it, but you can never get rid of the liability entirely. A lot of plan sponsors that have been sued thought they weren't paying very much or at all. They didn't understand their fees. And just to be clear, if you want to write a check, that's fine, but if it's being paid out of plan assets, that's when the liability comes. Secondly, what are the basics of a ERISA plan sponsor on their fiduciary responsibility? Number one is the plan must be designed in the sole benefit or sole interest of the participants. So for example, you can't get a better credit rating with your bank if you promise to give the record keeping for your plan to them. Secondly, the fees have to be reasonable, and that's a two-part test. Number one, what are the fees? There are a lot of indirect fees, and it's not easily or obvious a lot of times how much you're actually paying or your participants are paying. It can be in your 408b2 fee disclosure, but that can be very difficult to read. And then you have to determine if they're reasonable, which comes either through benchmarking, which you should probably do once a year, or better, go to market, do an RFP, request for proposal, which is every 3 to 5 years. And finally, how do you fulfill your fiduciary responsibility is you must have a prudent, documented process. If the process is not documented according to the Department of Labor, it didn't happen. And then in terms of prudent, you are expected to be an expert. Now, a lot of you are not, probably most of you are not, but you can hire experts to help you fulfill that responsibility. And this is where the shift comes. Your role, if you hire an expert, is to make sure that that expert is qualified and they're actually doing what they said they were doing or what the plan is paying them to do. So that's how you do it. Hopefully that's helpful and simple, and we look forward to seeing you at a TPSU program, and keep watching 401k TV.